Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui c'est lundi, le 9 janvier. Since it is lundi, let's take a look at our week to come. So you are going to have two discussions based on our Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, our This Week in History slides that you'll have a couple times this week coming up TBD, so stay tuned on that. You have our TPR to practice, your actions. Those are going to be not today, but a little bit later in the week. We have a new song of the week later today. This, traduction, le sapin méchant, is one thing that you have to do today. Les bonnes résolutions are coming up tomorrow. Flipgrid, mercredi on Wednesday. We're going to have a little reading comprehension practice this week as well. It's a reading that will build. So we'll look at the first part tomorrow, and then the second part mercredi, the third part jeudi. And then you'll have a little quiz on that reading practice. It is kind of to go along with the structures that we learned in the story about Le Singe at the end of last semester. Then finally, you'll have your quick write and your weekly check-in. Okay, aujourd'hui, c'est lundi, le 9 janvier. Il y a un nouveau mot de passe. Bonne année. Bonne année. En anglais, Happy New Year. Bonne année. So be ready to use bonne année as a part of your Flipgrid, mercredi, or if you are able to come to our meet, I'll have you use it when you sign up to the meet. Okay, le calendrier. So this is something I do, I try to do it once a week. It's usually le lundi. I should probably mix it up and do it different days of the week because as you're going to see, that would probably work a little bit better. It would mix things up a little bit here and not make it the same thing every single time, but it is what it is. So, aujourd'hui, c'est quel jour? Aujourd'hui. Actually, quickly, let's make sure we know what all these terms mean. Aujourd'hui, today. Demain, tomorrow. Après-demain, the day after tomorrow, also known as le lendemain. Le lendemain you see a lot in literature. It means like the next day. Après-demain, I feel like you hear more in conversation. It means the day after tomorrow. Donc, aujourd'hui, demain, après-demain. Hier, yesterday. Avant-hier, the day before yesterday. Donc, think about the song that we learned at the beginning of the year, lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. So, aujourd'hui, c'est lundi. Aujourd'hui, c'est lundi. Donc, demain, c'est mardi, lundi, mardi, et après-demain, c'est mercredi. Okay, aujourd'hui, le jour, c'est lundi, et demain, c'est mardi. Après-demain, c'est mercredi. Okay, aujourd'hui, c'est lundi, donc hier, c'était dimanche. Dimanche. Et avant-hier, c'était samedi. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, jeudi, vendredi, samedi, dimanche. Il y a 7 jours. Okay. Samedi. Samedi, c'est le week-end où il y a école. Samedi, c'est le week-end. Il n'y a pas école. Il n'y a pas école. C'est le week-end. Dimanche, c'est le week-end où il y a école. Dimanche, c'est le week-end aussi. Samedi et dimanche, c'est le week-end. Lundi, mardi, mercredi, c'est le week-end où il y a école. Il y a école, école, ce n'est pas le week-end, le lundi, le mardi, le mercredi. Il y a école. Okay. Aujourd'hui, quelle est la date? Aujourd'hui, c'est le 9 janvier. Le 9 janvier 2023. So when we're saying years, remember we have to say the thousand part. We don't usually do that in English. We just say 2023. En français, littéralement, 2023. 2023. Aujourd'hui, c'est le 9 janvier 2023. Et quel temps fait-il aujourd'hui? Quel temps fait-il? Il fait frais? Oui, il fait frais. Il y a du soleil? Not as I am reading this, but that might be different when you're seeing this, this video. Il fait gris? Again, oui, maintenant, right now, might not be whenever you are watching this. Il fait froid? No, il ne fait pas froid. I didn't have to get out my big winter coat today. Il ne fait pas froid. Il neige? No, il ne neige pas. Il ne neige pas. Il fait frais. Il y a du soleil. Il fait gris. That's going to kind of depend on when you watch this. Pour moi, il y a... I can't really remember. It's still dark out, so either one of these might be the case later. Il y a du soleil ou il fait gris. Maybe we'll see both within today. Okay. Dernière chose, last thing on here. Il y a combien? How many? Combien de jours avant le weekend de Martin Luther King Jr.? Okay. Le weekend, samedi. We're not actually talking about Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're going to talk about the weekend of that holiday. Donc, samedi, c'est le 14 janvier. Aujourd'hui, c'est le 9 janvier. Donc, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Il y a 5 jours avant le weekend de Martin Luther King. 5 jours. Okay, voilà le calendrier. So that's just a way for us to talk about days, dates, weather, all that good stuff. Okay, la traduction. Le sapin méchant. If you were really in my class or Madame Jaunet's class or Madame McKinney's class last semester, you're probably already familiar with this structure, but you're going to take our story from last week, Le sapin méchant, and you just need to translate these last 2 paragraphs, not the whole thing. If you don't see this or hear this and do the whole thing, well, that'll just be extra practice for you. But you don't have to do the whole thing. Just translate these last 2 paragraphs. This explains how to do so, what that should look like. And then when you open up our folder for today, you're going to see where to turn that in. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Last thing, weekend talk. So our Jamboard, we'll have one of these each week, pretty much. And on the Jamboard, this is just an interactive whiteboard. So basically, I'm asking you a question. Qu'est-ce que tu as fait pendant les vacances d'hiver? Remember, qu'est-ce que, just a big long way of saying what. Tu as fait, did you do, pendant, during, les vacances d'hiver, winter vacation. Et, qu'est-ce que tu n'as pas fait? What did you not do? So what I want you to do is just put your name and the word oui next to something you did do. Pour moi, oui, j'ai beaucoup mangé. And I did that just by clicking here where it says text box, and I then clicked in here, made a text box, put my name and the word oui. I want you to do the same thing with the word non for something you didn't do. For me, je suis allée chez mes grands-parents I went to my grandparents' house. That's a no for me. So I put my name and then no also in a text box. So I want you to do the same thing for yourself. One oui, one no. That's all you have to do for now. And we're going to revisit this when you either come to our meet mercredi or when you do your Flipgrid that day. I know this video is getting long. The only other thing I wanted to show you was this. So I'm looking at these slides. How do you access these slides from your point of view? You might already know this, but just in case, we are going to go into Schoology, and here's what your Schoology course looks like. We talked about these buttons last week when I made the video. So here's what you're going to be doing on a regular basis. You're going to click on the Cette Semaine folder, and within that you have a folder for each day, lundi, mardi, mercredi, etc. Within each of these folders, you're going to find les diapos. This is where your slideshow is. The slideshow is embedded in every day of the week, every folder for every day of the week. So that's where you're going to find the slideshow that I was just talking about. Earlier, I also talked about your one assignment that you need to actually turn in today, submit today, which is Le Sapin Méchant, la traduction. So your translation for that story about Le Sapin Méchant. This is going to be where you go to, once again, see the instructions. These are also in your slides. And you're going to take a picture and upload your translation here. Okay, so that gives you everything you need to know for today. And I will be back tomorrow with another video. Au revoir tout le monde!